Hey y'all, it's Kim. So I've been going through obviously all the JFK files. This is page 10. Hold on, let me get this out of here. Sorry. Just have to get it out there. So this is it says I guess William Johnson is the name up here. November 26, 63. This looks like Sydney info and then Canberra, so Australia. This says November 25th of 63, and then that looks like the timestamp. But some of this is hard to read. It says reference Alusna, something like that, Canberra cable, and then there's a number here of 24 November, which uh I don't know what this word is. To secret, oh, downgraded to secret. And then that's what that says. Downgraded to secret. It says cable details, telephone conversation, including verbatim that remarks possible connection the Soviet government with assassination, cable details, telephone call of 15th of October of 1962, cable something plans any, I can't see what that is, or liaison, um, contact with Polish driver and results such contact. And then some of these words, you can't even see what those are. Assigns responsibility to this activity to QBark or something like that. And then all aspects of assassination have something investigative and operational fragility. I don't know what that says. Pretty much, this is the only part that's really legible. Is like CS comment, a listener, something like that, received telephone call on 23rd of November from a person claiming to be his Polish driver of Russian vehicle. Information touched on several areas, including possible Soviet connection, supplying money to individual in U.S. to assassinate president, possible Soviet implication, USS Thresher incident, etc. And then whoever signed off on this documents. And that was one. And then this has 3 pages, and pretty much it's site of Mexico City 44345, priority director, and this is March of 78. Director 190-792, Mexico City, the director, and these are their numbers here. Anyways, reference A, cable answers some of the questions of primary concern to this station, but at the same time, it confirms the worst fears expressed in reference B concerning revelations about operations against the Soviet target in Mexico City. In order of importance, the NBC program cannot help but be damaging to U.S. security interests in this agency in the following manner. Revelation of sources, the statement by Bach in reference C that he had not identified any sources by name or description throughout the taping is refuted by the statement that a Soviet was recruited by former COS Roger T. Kingman during his tour. Apart from the description of the circumstances under which the recruitment was made, the simple statement that a Soviet official was recruited is sufficient to set off a full scale investigation by the KGB into every Soviet official who served in Mexico City during that time frame. The Soviets have the sources and determination to eventually identify the spy. Future recruitments, future recruitments, how will it be possible for this agency to recruit Soviets or anyone for that matter if the agency cannot offer guarantees that the identity of sources will not be exposed by some employee, regardless of motivation? While this program will have an immediate impact in Mexico City, La Paz, and Montevideo, I think that's what that says, the fallout affecting future recruitments will be worldwide. Of course, it's a secret document. Anyway, Revelation of methods, operational tradecraft and methods, taps revealed by Bach are still in practice at this station, while it may be argued that the methods have been exposed by others such as AG. The Bach revelations will have far greater impact because they carry the imprimatur of a reputable U.S. news agency and originate with a person who is not in league with any hostile country, as far as we know. Damage to liaison. A considerable segment of this station's operations are based on liaison cooperation. The relationship this station enjoys with high levels of the Mexican government also provides a hunting license for unilateral endeavors. The Mexican government is extremely sensitive to the possibility of exposure of instances of cooperation. The political risk which the government is willing to undergo for this agency is not unlimited. Existing or potential operations could be curtailed. Damage to existing sources. It remains to be seen how many current sources will continue collaborating with the agency in Mexico City or other stations after this program is released. Embarrassment to President Lopez Portillo. As noted in reference B, the Mexican president will travel to Moscow on a state visit in about 6 weeks' time. As a means to damage CIA, it would not be unlike the Soviets to point out that unbridled CIA operations against a legitimate Soviet presence in Mexico are a matter of concern to the Soviet Union and a potential impediment to continuing friendly relations between the two countries. The president may choose to finesse such a statement, but the point will have been made. Station security. During past months, hardly a day has passed when the local press has not carried some attack against alleged CIA activities in Mexico. Within recent weeks, the agency has been accused of every crime from the murder of President Kennedy to the abduction of Aldo Moro. The embassy program will provide new grist, I guess that's what that say, for the local propaganda machine. I've never seen that word. Okay. And further highlight CIA presence in Mexico with concomitant erosion of station security. Further Bach revelations. There probably is no way to estimate the amount of information that Bach has revealed to unauthorized persons. Bach admits that he has unburdened his soul to his friends. We've been unburdened by what has been, unburdened his soul to his friends and undoubtedly has provided material to NBC which was not used on the program. Further, after the program is broadcast, Bach will become an instant celebrity and a subject of interest to other newsmen of various stripes. When will his revelations end? And station would appreciate receiving more precise identification of sites mentioned. Paragraph 5, reference A. Particularly those of residences and landmarks. Were these the residences of former or current station personnel? Would any of the landmarks be of concern to the Mexican government? Recognize that in absence of soundtrack, that it would be difficult for anyone except a person familiar with Mexico City and station ops activities to identify these locations and judge their significance. Nevertheless, such info essential if stationed to complete damage assessment prior to broadcast of this program, and please advise as soon as. And then whatever this little code is here, and in the message, secret. Let's see. So this one was from May of 78. This is also a secret document. I think when you say this word, it's Guayaquil because it's got a G in front of it. To director info of Quitos, Caracas. And then state 129,679. It says base has just received copy of reference which advises a visit to Guayaquil on 29th of May of Messrs. Gayton, Fonzie, and Alberto Gonzalez, staff members of House Select Committee on Assassinations. Nature of purpose of visit not explained, but would like to know if HQ is aware of above and should base expect contact from subjects. And subjects scheduled for Caracas on 1st of June. And then here's a little note, something like Bernice, please see Keenan, who is LAD officer responsible for, I guess, the congressional visits, maybe something like that is what it looks like. Looks like that was crossed out, but something visits. Anyway, secret document. And let's see, this one, it's May of 70. There's Guayaquil again. Info Quito, Caracas, Guayaquil 22196. HQ's work in agreement with those or with House Select Committee on Assassinations or the HCA or HSCA provides for notice to HQs by HSCA investigators of all planned contacts with current or former staff personnel. In absence of such notice, in this case, it's our assumption that no contact with station-based staffers as such is planned. In event you're contacted, please restrict your comments to work performed in your cover capacity. And then this is Sturbitz, Tuberville, Chapanic, Breckenridge, Amori, Beardsley, and Warren. And of course, it's a secret. And then let's see. So this is May of 78, priority WWSB, Luxembourg, whatever all these codes are, I have no idea. It's just interesting to look. It says book cable, WN Intel Rybat, and this says a House Select Committee on Assassinations, HSCA, chaired by Representative Louis Stokes, has been interviewing a number of retirees and ex-employees and has been going through material furnished to them by the agency. Through this process, committee staff members have obtained a number of names of non-official cover officers and agent cryptonyms. It is now the intention of the committee to send staff members to a number of countries to interview individuals in the field. And we are, of course, most concerned about the protection of our sources and the identities of our non-official officers. I think this may be a duplicate from yesterday, but we'll just finish it. At the same time, we are anxious to assist the work of the HSCA, and we shall therefore examine each request on a case-by-case basis. We have been working with Chairman Stokes to develop mutually accepted guidelines for handling HSCA requests. These are contacts with former agency employees living abroad. If we know where such employees are, we will inform the committee. We cannot, however, undertake to find them if we do not know where they are. And individuals who are not and have not been agents, but who might have information pertinent to the investigation, the names of such individuals will be furnished as by the HSCA, and we will check to ensure that such an individual would not be in a position to reveal previous or current agency assets or operations. Non-official cover officers, staff members may interview NOCS, but not repeat, not in country. NOCS will be flown to other areas for interviews. Additionally, NOCS will use aliases as appropriate. Agents, past or present HSCA staff members may not repeat, not contact, or interview agents. If you are approached in the field with the request from an HSCA staff member to be put in touch with NOCS or agents, and you have not had prior headquarters notification of such a request, You should immediately contact or consult headquarters prior to making any commitment. And then this has Paige, Greg. This looks like it's been redacted. Breckenridge, McMahon, and Carlucci. That name sounds familiar. I think we've seen that in another document. All right. So this only has one. This is from April of 78. Deferred telepouch for Washington to Brussels. Says the House Select Committee on Assassinations in connection with its investigation into the death of Martin Luther King Jr. This one looks familiar too. Has asked for information in RT action files on a number of individuals and organizations, including Flemish Order of Militants. Let me just make sure of something really quick. Yeah, I'm on page 10, so I just have to make sure I'm in the right spot. Where was I at? Let's see. Yeah, Flemish Order of Militants, the VMO, because it's Vlamsa Military Norte or something. Committee request is not limited to immediate period surrounding assassinations, but presume its interest focuses on assassin's escape route and support he obtained while in Europe. We have no information on how the VMO came to the committee's attention. Yeah, I think this is the one from yesterday. They've got a lot of documents that are basically the same. This says precedents. This one's probably the same. It says reference C has passed FBI's upon. See, I don't even know. That's not FBI like the Federal Bureau of Investigation, but it's something else. FBIS upon receipt by Como Hong Kong distribution instructions for Hong Kong and other addies. I don't know what that is, or addies, like adding the people to it. A clearly instructed passage of FBI's. Assume other stations also distributed FBIS, which means reference C is presently held by FBIS units, and in view of its sensitivity, recommend headquarters recall the action and told Hong Kong it does, I don't know, something the issue. It has this issue. I don't know, something like that. This is precedence. Okay. This, yeah, I think some of these are the same documents. Flemish Order of Militants. Yeah, I think we looked at this yesterday. And he will not pass his information on possible VMO contacts. Yeah, I think these are same. I don't want to bore you with this sources and methods position, but it's clear that he's not persuaded that we are holding the line. This is from May of 78. See, a lot of this I think was from yesterday too. It's like the same document, different document numbers. Like up here, this part of the PDF. It'll be different. Anyway. And this one is also for Brussels. This was from May of 78, Brussels. Gorlick acting said, yeah, I think we've done this one too. And this is also about the Vlamsa Militants to Norde, something like that. Or Nord, I don't know. I don't speak Flemish. Brussels, it says following note received from N.I. Gale. Only first sentence differs from N.I. Trust, oral stiff arm of reference, and telling us what we already surmised about lack of known VMO AMSIC contact. So remember, this is from yesterday. Anyway, I'll keep going. I'll go on to page 11, see if anything's changed, anything's different there. But anyway, that was page 10 or part 10, whatever you want to say, of the JFK Files of 2025.